때문에 자, 측면을 계속해서 이렇게 뚫리면 안 되는데요 지금.
와, 알파이 기상, 기상.
야, 알파.
Alpha decimates Fnatic's backline, and Lijiagan and Izayaki are unable to use their ultimates. Zeta Division have 55 meters on the board and are up 2-0 in this series. This could have been the moment that Fnatic lost their momentum and their chances at victory, but that isn't what happened. Donghack, Knife, and Checkmate. 3 players remain for Fnatic. This fight isn't over because a few moments ago, Heesung, the tank for Zeta Division, made a critical mistake. Heesung wasted Primal when the fight was already over, and in the next fight overcommits. This fight is a 3v4, and it is a 3v4 that Fnatic must win without support. Donghack has Primal. This is the key that Fnatic can use to turn this fight. Zeta Division may have the numbers, but they do not have the ultimates, and Donghack can go longer without support with the Primal. It's up to Donghack and Checkmate to perform a combined hit to attempt to trade out and turn this fight around. Knife just needs to survive. Flora extends forward, looking to place pressure on Knife, only for Knife to take him out first. Simultaneously, Donghack jumps. His first target is Finn, but Checkmate realizes that Violet can be split, and Donghack switches target to align with Checkmate. At the last possible moment, Violet is able to bash away, dodging Donghack. Although Violet does hit the whip shot, Checkmate and Donghack continue to chase, finishing the kill. I want to stress the importance of this moment, when Donghack switched his target from Finn to Violet. This is a very good call from Checkmate because Violet is much easier to isolate in such an aggressive position. If he hadn't managed to bash away with the right timing, he would have died right then and there. Before we continue, let's talk about this Winston composition and how the matchup is played. Fnatic and Zeta Division are mirrored, playing identical Winston compositions. This is the Ana Brig variant of the Winston composition, so you can split this composition into 2 parts. The front line consisting of Winston and Tracer, and the core consisting of Ana, Brig, and Ashe. To explain this simply and quickly, the core is the central unit of this composition, and the Brig is used to protect that unit. Sometimes the Ashe should be split from the core, but this is rare. All 3 players will tend to rotate and move together, working as a team. The front line, on the other hand, work together to execute hits known as dives. The front line don't stack with each other, but they will converge on targets. You saw this in action during the previous fight with Checkmate and Donghack. Now, in the mirror matchup between the Ana Brig variants of this composition, the job of the front line is to put as much pressure on the opposing core as possible. The more pressure you place on the enemy core, the more value your core will get. I will explain this very simply with an important concept I like to call indirect peel. When you directly peel for your team, that means you are actively giving them resources or actively defending them. Most new players tend to believe that this is the best way to defend your team. Want to keep your core alive? Why not bubble them? Well, there's a better way to defend your core. Rather than fighting the Winston with your core, you can dive the enemy Ana and use bubble to block her line of sight to the enemy Winston. By doing this effectively, you are helping your core a lot. If you block the enemy Winston from getting support, he will be forced to retreat earlier, and then your core can take space. On top of this, you're placing pressure on the enemy core, preventing them from getting too much value and opening up opportunities for kills. Applying offensive pressure that defends your core is indirect peel. You are helping your core, just indirectly. Let's get right back into the match. Fnatic are making progress and have a significant ult bank to work with. Checkmate rotates behind, but he does make a mistake, revealing himself too early. Izayaki wants to use the nano, and you're about to see another hit from the front line of Fnatic. The moment that Izayaki uses the nano on Donghack, Checkmate blinks in, looking to pulse Flora. This is where Checkmate's previous mistake hurts him though, because Flora was expecting the move and was able to dodge the pulse using Coach Gun. In the same moment, Donghack jumps, using bubble midair to block Finn's sleep dart. Flora, without his Coach Gun, desperately tries to regroup with his core in this moment, and Checkmate chases, and with that, Donghack and Checkmate can work together, forcing Flora and Finn into the room, making for easy kills. At the end of this fight, Heesung and Alpha trade out Lijiagan. At first, this might not seem like a big deal, the fight was already over anyways, but not only did Lijiagan have rally, he also has to walk the whole way back to the fight, which takes a long time. Fnatic must choose between taking a 4v5 or retreating, which would halt their momentum. Fnatic decide to take the 4v5, and the fight begins with an aggressive bob from Knife. From this, we can easily infer what Fnatic are thinking in this moment. They know that Finn has nano and that Heesung has primal, and with Brig, the key defensive component of the core missing, surviving a hit from Zeta will not be easy. So, rather than letting Zeta set the pace and play first, Fnatic went to set the tempo in an attempt to try and protect their backline. This actually works perfectly because Heesung, seeing the Ashe directly in his face, decides to use his bubble early. This bubble was awful, and you'll see why in a moment. Checkmate and Donghak engage, looking to follow up with Bob. Unfortunately, the Bob kinda sucked, it slipped off the rock and ended up in the middle of nowhere, but what this play did manage to create was a split in Zeta's core. Flora has been separated. Remember that really bad bubble from Heesung? Well, right as Fnatic's frontline initiated, Finn nanoed Heesung and he went in on Fnatic's core. But, of course, Heesung doesn't have bubble, so Izayaki just sleeps him. And that isn't the worst of it too, because Knife was still kiting out and was in a position that would have blocked LOS from Izayaki momentarily and made the sleep more difficult. But Heesung just dives Izayaki and gets guaranteed insta-slep, which is a mistake on top of a mistake. Things manage to get more chaotic and worse in this fight though, because Donghak proceeds to do something just as ridiculous. After his bubble expires, instead of leaving, Donghak straight lines towards the room where Checkmate is dueling Flora. This is silly. First off, Flora is already dead, Checkmate has the kill in the bag, but even if Checkmate didn't have that kill in the bag, there's no way that Donghak can just walk into that room and expect to survive with 3 players looking at him. He's also 85% to Primal, he doesn't have it yet, and it's not the end of the world if Flora doesn't die. Donghak seriously just needed to jump away here and he would have been fine. You do not want to trade your Winston for an Ashe here no matter what, so there's absolutely no justification for this play. While this is all happening, Heesung finally awakens and uses Primal to continue to place pressure on Fnatic's core. Zeta chase Donghak and Checkmate, who are both taken down, while Lee Jae-gon keeps Izayaki up through the Primal. Fnatic's core escape without taking a loss, resetting for the next fight. At the beginning of this fight, Zeta's core makes an important move that will define how Fnatic has to approach this engagement. As Fnatic slowly advance, Zeta's core backs away, giving space. Core position is important, and it'll define where a team wants to take a fight. If Zeta's core kept their aggressive position, that would mean that Zeta intended to take a forward fight attacking Fnatic's high ground. So why didn't they do that? That's because Fnatic have an ult advantage, and Zeta also lack aggressive ultimates such as Nano or Primal, which would be more useful in a forward fight to take the high ground. So Zeta decided they want to take a fight across the middle of the map, making it more difficult for Fnatic to take an aggressive fight. Fnatic have to cross more distance, and it is easier for Zeta to react and kite away. Another detail that should be noted is how Alpha Yi and Heesung maintain their positions. This is a very obvious example of a bait, trying to convince Fnatic to use their ultimates early and chase. If they do, Zeta's frontline will escape, and if Fnatic chase, Zeta will use Bob and Rally, and their core are too far away to immediately take down. Fortunately, these kind of baits are pretty easy to identify, and Fnatic understand what they need to do. Since it is unwise to go directly for Zeta's core, Checkmate and Donghak make the correct decision and decide to clear Heesung and Alpha Yi first. Clearing is the act of removing a player from a position or area, a very simple concept. Checkmate places pressure on Heesung while Donghak jumps to clear Alpha Yi. Heesung is forced to jump away, and Alpha Yi backs off. With Zeta's frontline cleared, Fnatic's core advance. Zeta continues to bait, their core backing up a bit further. Checkmate and Donghak continue to clear, forcing Alpha Yi even farther back. Fnatic's core continues to advance, and now Heesung counterjumps Donghak, temporarily forcing him away. You can tell that this is a bit of a push and pull between these teams over the middle space of this map. Okay, now we pause. Look at where Violet's located. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous for Zeta. Finn and Flora have backed away while Violet holds this extremely aggressive position, supporting Alpha Yi on the angle. There is an argument to be made that Violet could afford to hold such a position with Rally, but Fnatic just have too many ultimates, and a position like this, holding it is too risky. Donghak sees Violet and makes his move, jumping behind Violet to make it more difficult for him to escape. It's Checkmate's job to follow up, blinking in and finishing the job. Violet was not given any time to use the Rally. Checkmate keeps pushing forward off of this momentum, landing a pulse onto Flora. This is such a valuable pulse. It instantly secures the fight for Fnatic, who won't be tempted to use any more ultimates. Unfortunately, Lee Jae-gon was traded by Alpha Yi at the very end of this fight again, so Fnatic will be down to a 4v5 again. Violet, at this moment, does something that legitimately forced me to get up from my computer, go outside, and take a walk. I did not know what to write about this. I did not know what to say. I did not have words. I will allow you to experience this for yourself, and you can make of it as you will. After this atrocity ends, Donghak uses Primal, picking up a kill into Finn before backing away. This was essentially a free fight for Fnatic, but I just don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Fnatic want to continue to take these fights first, so Izayaki uses Nano on Donghak and Checkmate follows up, with Violet narrowly avoiding death by using the rally while antied. This wasn't a bad idea, it was definitely an effective initial engage, but it wasn't perfect. Knife could not help at all, having no LOS of the fight, so Fnatic weren't able to output all of their pressure during this hit. Donghak also stays far too long and is taken down. This fight would have been winnable if Donghak were able to escape and Li Zhegang could then use Rally. Checkmate, this entire time, was perfectly fine. He escapes without issue and is approaching another Pulse Bomb. Knife also picked up 2 kills at the end, which is impressive, and probably shouldn't be allowed to happen. Both teams regroup, and the next fight takes place in the middle of the map. While the fight is at a stalemate, Checkmate looks to wrap around and take an angle, meaning Alpha Yi. Donghak makes a clever jump to get behind Violet while Checkmate ignores Alpha Yi and follows up. This forces Suzu and a teleport from Violet. Hisung does engage with the Nano, but with the help of a sleep and Li Zhegan's rally, Fnatic's core are able to survive. While this is happening, Donghak and Checkmate continue to advance. This is a battle where trading the opposing core is key. Checkmate knows Violet is lacking a Suzu, so he goes in for the Pulse, taking down Violet and Finn before falling to Hisung. After this, Donghak jumps in. For absolutely no comprehensible reason. There's no reason to do this. Why? Why Donghak? Anyways, the core of Fnatic is still standing, and their first target is Hisung, who's quickly bursted, and then Izayaki hits a great sleep onto Alpha Yi. Knife quickly hits Alpha Yi and is traded by Flora. Checkmate is back and attempts to chase, but Flora is in the clear, with an important Suzu from Violet saving his life. Fnatic back off, not wanting to take an early fight at a disadvantage. Again, we see Violet start this fight forward, so Fnatic want to look to mark that. Donghak makes a jump to completely clear Violet, but Checkmate is caught off guard during this engage in an awkward moment, blinking in right where Hisung jump was going to land. Izayaki nanos Donghak, but Donghak realizes he can't really advance or use this without significant risk, so he decides to back away. For once, not jumping in or walking in without thinking. Thank you, Donghak. I appreciate it. Flora keeps Zeta's momentum up with a Bob, and Donghak has to jump away and Fnatic wait it out. The Bob's duration ends and it's Fnatic's turn in this fight. Donghak and Checkmate jump in, the target is Flora. Here, Flora survives the impossible. A well-timed Suzu from Violet alongside a Nano from Finn allow Flora to survive Donghak's Primal, alongside Checkmate's raw damage. At the very end of this fight, Checkmate even lands a quick stick onto Finn, but Violet had the Suzu back and was able to negate what could have been a defining pick. Zeta are now in the lead, and Fnatic cannot lose another fight with barely any time on the clock. In a strange turn of events, Hisung entirely overextends with Primal, making for an extremely early first pick. Like, what is going on? Why? Why? Donghak wants to capitalize and hit Zeta's core, with Checkmate close behind. After finishing Flora, Checkmate moves out and assists Donghak in taking down Finn and Violet. This was a solid hit, but there's a ways to go before winning the map. Hisung swaps over to Malga in an attempt to catch Fnatic off guard. Donghak sees the Malga, backs off, and plays very slowly just to touch the cart. Alpha Yi moves in for the pulse, missing Izayaki narrowly, but if this pulse had landed, Fnatic likely would have lost. Izayaki nanos Donghak, and Violet is forced away, desperately using TP and Suzu in an attempt to live to no avail. Li Zhegang uses Rally, Fnatic want to take a direct brawl, and they're able to easily clean up the Malga. Unfortunately, Alpha Yi manages to find a trade onto Izayaki at the end. Alpha Yi's put in the work, so Fnatic are down their Ana. Although we haven't focused on Alpha Yi much during this video, he's seriously, honestly a one-man army. Checkmate hunts down Finn, his recall is forced, but he gets Finn low enough to stagger him after the fight ends. At this point, Fnatic are very, very close to reaching the barrier at the end. Donghak feeds for absolutely no reason one more time because, of course he does, but with Alpha Yi quickly dispatched, Hisung cannot reach the point in time and Fnatic do take this map. Zeta Division versus Fnatic would go to a map 5, where Zeta would win Flashpoint 3-2 and take the series. When writing this video, what I very quickly came to realize was that Colosseo was a really strange map. Zeta Division in particular made some severe and surprising mistakes that you really wouldn't expect. Originally, the objective of this video was to focus on Checkmate, but I ended up broadening the scope while writing. I do feel that Checkmate had an incredible performance on the map, but there were other factors at play, and I could not ignore it at all, so I kind of had to write around that and work around that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to support me, comments and likes help me a lot. Feel free to make requests for future videos. I'll be taking matches from OWCS, no EWC matches. Also, if you notice any interesting plays from OWCS, I have a Google form that you can use to submit them for my microplays series. To end off, thank you for the support, and thank you for 20k.